Hello. Hi. See who joins today. I don't know if I like where that is right now. Maybe I am. I'm adjusting you. Sorry. Do I like this better? Maybe. I think I like that better. Is anyone here yet? I don't. What is going on? That is. If anyone is here yet, say hello in the chat because I'm not seeing my numbers, which is odd. Oh, that's why. Okay, I'm better now. This is very strange. YouTube is doing something weird. I think we're good. Hmm. Are we here? I think we're good. I don't know. That was weird. I don't know what just happened. Seems fine. Okay. It. Okay. Thank you, Wes. I don't know. It kicked me off for a second, but I think we're okay. I changed locations so you could see Eva's new. It's not the taco truck. For those of you familiar with my cat Eva, she's sleeping. I'll get her in a minute. I didn't want to bother her. But it's a little cat house and it's a TV. They didn't have the taco truck, but they did have a TV. It's a little cat scratcher cat house. All right, I'll give it a second, see if anyone else pops in. Working? Yeah. Hello from Communist Boston. Hi, Communist Boston. Okay, it paused for a minute. It was like a red line kept going through, like thinking, and then it kicked me off. And now I'm back, so I think we're okay. I'll give it just another minute for people to pop in. But I actually have some positive news about these California recalls. That's what I wanted to talk about and some other fun stuff. All right, we'll give it just a minute. How is everybody? What's today? Thursday? Happy Thursday. Dang, this week went by really fast, actually. Really, really fast. Yes, I think it's working now, so that's good. Hello, TNN. Hello. Hi. I'm not gonna say hi. Hello, Harry. I'm not gonna say your whole name. Oh my goodness. You almost got me there. Hi, Sarah. I got the notification. Yay. No, Siri. I didn't. Hi, Rudolph. Randolph. I'm sorry. Rudolph. Okay, while we're waiting for people to join, I have been watching the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, and Amber Heard has taken the stand. I watched it yesterday. I have never seen, in my opinion, I don't know if there's evidence that goes towards what she's saying, I will change my opinion. Hello. Um, I'm just talking about random stuff. I'm letting people get into the chat or get into the live stream. Um, I will change my opinion if there's evidence to support anything that she's saying, but this was some of the worst acting I've ever seen in my life. And this clip went around. I'll show it to you. And after you both return to So inside court, there is a court photographer, and they take pictures. Hello from Montreal. Vulcans are known for crying without tears. Yes, there was a lot of crying, no tears. And as an actor, I'm like, why didn't you bring a tear stick? So a tear stick is this little thing. It literally is just a little stick, and you rub a little bit of it on your finger, and then you have it on your finger. And while you're, acting, you just rub your eye a little bit, and it actually produces real tears that irritates your eye, whatever it was. And I'm like, why didn't she at least bring a tear stick? Every actor knows what this is. But here's at one point, and from someone like I've acted on sets where they have set photographers, so I know exactly what she's doing. I want to play this. Okay. This is going around on Twitter. So I want you to see what's happening. She has this is just so fascinating. She has the tissue up to her nose. There's a photographer off to her side. She sees the photographer, and then she holds it, and then as soon as the photo is taken, she drops. She was posing for the photo. And I know what this is because I've acted on sets with set photographers. I used to do the same exact thing, except that's on set. You kind of get trained you'll see the photographer out of the corner of your eye, and then you'll be like, okay, photos taken. Here, let's see if you guys can see this.
And after you both return to LA.
If you're on my Twitter, I retweeted it out. You can see it a lot closer, but it's thoroughly entertaining me. I will say this. And before we get started on everything else, Bill Barr actually weighed in on this, and I like his opinion on everything. Quite frankly, he's very he kind of just says it like it is. Bill Barr, he's a comedian. And it says comedian and actor Bill Barr said this week that actor Johnny Depp is effing destroying his defamation trial against ex-wife Amber Heard and might be owed public apologies from the people who trashed him if the case continues to show Heard as lying. Depp is suing her for $50 million, if you didn't know, over an op-ed the actress penned at the Washington Post in 2018, claiming to be the victim of violence against her, Depp. Heard has countersued for $100 million. And this is what Bill Barr said. He said, I heard he is absolutely destroying her. From what I've seen, the guy is destroying this woman for lying. I'm wondering, all these people who just accepted her lies, if they're going to apologize somehow because they publicly trashed him. It'd be nice if they then publicly apologized and said, maybe next time we won't jump to conclusions. And the reason this is so interesting is because when this op ed came out, it was right at the cusp of the Me Too movement. So this was taking advantage of the Me Too movement. This was a woman making an accusation against a guy that she had no evidence of. And the public just automatically believed the woman. His career was ruined, his reputation was ruined. And as more information came to light, she in fact not only was dishonest about this, but she in fact might have been the abuser herself. So, sorry, did you say Bill Maher? Oh no, Bill Barr. Bill Burr. I'm sorry, Bill Burr, not Bill Maher. But I like Bill. Bill Burr always has very interesting, straightforward opinions. So I always like to see what he thinks about things. The comedian, Bill Burr. All right. No, Bill Maher. Sometimes I like Bill Maher's opinions. Sometimes not so much. It just depends. All right. So somebody earlier on asked about there is a recall effort going on in Los Angeles. Bill Burr seems all right. Yes, I think so too. There is a recall effort going on in Los Angeles right now. California formally had a recall effort against Gavin Newsom. And there are, I believe, about 30 other recall efforts going on with progressive DAs and politicians. Amber saw misty watercolor memories of the way we were. So one of the recall efforts is for a progressive DA in Los Angeles named George Gascon, and he's one of those rogue DAs. Yeah, he's one of those rogue DAs that you've heard about that is really soft on crime, doesn't really pay a lot of attention to victims. Well, there's that recall. There's another recall happening in San Francisco against another progressive DA, Chesa Bodine, and that one, hi Mark, that recall effort actually got enough signatures to push a special election. So I'll read you a little bit about that and then what's going on in Los Angeles. It's very interesting. Um, and you also had a lot of celebrities endorsing these recalls, like John Legend, who lives in a gated community, has no idea what the real implications of soft on crime. But this is what actually happened in San Francisco. And George Gascon, who is the DA in Los Angeles right now, was a former DA in San Francisco. He didn't even finish his term in San Francisco. He just decided to jump ship, go to LA, and start implementing his policies that someone argued destroyed San Francisco. You talk you talk 100 times as fast as JD. At least Amber can talk. I don't know what that means. Um so crime in San Francisco, property crime, all of those things are up tremendously. And this just came out with San Francisco. So this is one of the real time effects of soft on crime policy. It is in the Bay Area. San Francisco is on pace to see the sharpest decline in business travel revenue of all major US cities, with a drop of nearly 70% or 1.7 billion. San Jose is also seeing a significant decline with a 52% drop or more than $630 million. We also know that 22 Rite Aids pulled out of San Francisco because of their rampant smash and grab robberies. And a lot of times, because of these policies and because of the refusal for the prosecutors to prosecute crimes, the people that are committing these crimes are getting let out right away. You have some officers saying, these people, we arrest them and they're out before the paperwork is even finished. And then you have people like John Legend supporting these people. So here, this is from Newsweek. This is about Chesa Bodine in San Francisco, who actually got enough signatures on his on the recall effort to push a special election. So they will be deciding, I believe, in June if he will be recalled again. So it says singer songwriter John Legend slammed online after tweeting his support for San Francisco's controversial district attorney Chesa Bodine. As fans pointed out, that Legend doesn't even live in San Francisco. Bodine, who is facing a recall election in June, has been heavily criticized for San Francisco citizens who believe he failed to make the city safer. According to a poll by EMC Research, nearly 70% of likely primary voters favor Bodine's removal, including 64% of registered Democrats. However, on Wednesday, John Legend wrote a series of tweets that district attorney elections are crucial to improving our criminal legal system, and 2022 is a year with 1,000 races. John Legend also endorsed George Gascon in Los Angeles. Legend also continued to say, in San Francisco, Chesa Bodine is fighting a recall. I endorsed Chesa for DA when he ran for election, and I support him now. Vote no for the recall. One Twitter user wrote, love your music, John, but you're not from San Francisco. Chesa's social experiment has failed here. He needs to go. Another user tweeted at John, I believe you are mistaken in your endorsement, sir. Violent and repeat offenders aren't being prosecuted. It's unfair to the citizens of San Francisco. We believe in appropriate second chances for first time offenders. But at what point does public safety become a priority? Another person wrote, as a former resident of San Francisco who lived in the wake of Chesa Boudin's destruction of the city, I couldn't disagree more. Anyone who believes he should stay in office need only to walk alone 1 block in San Francisco at night, and opinions will change. I wish Mr. Legend would do this before an endorsement. So he got heavily criticized online, but the good news is that there were enough signatures on the recall petition to push a special election, and that looks like what is going to happen in California, which is really good news. So, somebody recently asked in one of my comments an update with the Recall George Gascon effort, and I have it, and it's really good. So, this is from Fox News. The recall campaign told Fox News Digital on Wednesday that it has collected more than 400,000 signatures and raised $6 million. The campaign needs only 167,000 more signatures by July 6th deadline to put the recall question on the November ballot. So they have 2 months, 2 more months to get 167,000 signatures, and I think that they will, to put the recall on the ballot for November. That's really good news. I think the wake of all of this violent crime has really propelled people to look at George Gascon, to look at their quality of life in Los Angeles. Everybody knows it, Democrat, Republican, everyone knows it. This is what a spokesperson for the recall campaign said. He said, "We are starting to see a real light at the end of the tunnel here, and there's a real plausible pathway to get signatures if we can just keep it up." The recall effort is the second since Gascon took office in December of 2020. The first one failed, but the current attempt has gathered steam amid a series of high profile cases tied to Gascon's progressive directives and public criticism from crime victims, elected officials, and some of his own prosecutors. As crime has increased across the country, so has scrutiny of its top prosecutor, who has barred his deputy district attorneys from seeking enhancement allegations, which can significantly lengthen prison sentences, and charging juveniles as adults, even those accused of serious crimes, among others. The directive related to juveniles has since been modified over criticism of the case of a 26-year-old transgender woman who sexually assaulted a 10-year-old girl when she was 17. While supporters hail Gascon as a reformer who is trying to change the criminal justice system fraught with inequality, critics say his moves have emboldened criminals who no longer fear harsh punishment, even for serious offenses. I think probably 99% of the people in Los Angeles would make a better DA than George Gascon. That is Deputy District Attorney John Hatami. We have a district attorney right now who's causing havoc and mayhem in Los Angeles. His policies are making it more dangerous. So I find it interesting. On the first article I read to you with the Chesa Boudin recall that's happening in San Francisco, it pointed out that 64% of Democrats support recalling him. So, what it will happen anytime any of these individuals face a recall or anytime they face criticism, they will blame it on far right extremists, they will blame it on Republicans. And that is simply not true. This is a bipartisan effort to get these people out because it doesn't matter if you are a Democrat and Republican, you want to live in a safe city. And what they do is they'll gaslight to get elected. They'll say this is about racial equality and the racial equity in the criminal justice system. They say that it's criminal justice reform. So let's look at that for a second. If this was about racial equality in the criminal justice system, then riddle me this. So, Los Angeles County alone, 90% of homicide victims in Los Angeles County are Black and Hispanic men. After Gascon took office this past year, homicides are at a 15-year high in Los Angeles. So, when I'm telling you that 90% of homicide victims are Black and Hispanic men who are usually oft at the hands of other Black and Hispanic men. When you look at that, who do you think the majority of the victims are under these new policies, under these soft on crime policies. So that argument that this is criminal justice reform and this is about racial equality in the criminal justice system, that is blatantly false. That is not true and that's gaslighting. But they use that to get in office. Decline. Um, what year did all of this? Well, I believe it was I believe these policies, the gender identity policy in the state of California, I believe that really kicked off um in 2021, if I'm correct. But that has had disastrous effects as well, because we're told that it's all about equality, and uh, but now you have women that are being silenced if they're speaking out for not feeling safe in their spaces. And some of the most vulnerable of these population are women that are in prison. So now in California, if you are a male and you identify as a female, you can be put in a women's state prison. Now keep in mind that the majority of women in state prisons have not committed violent crimes. Women are just not as violent as men. I think we know that. They commit different crimes. And a lot of these women are women that have suffered different sort of, I don't remember this at all from 10 years ago. No, this is a very new thing. Um, so and it doesn't even matter when you started identifying as a female. You don't have to have any female parts. You can just be transferred to a female prison. And a lot of men that are in state prisons are violent offenders, but most women that are in state prisons are not violent offenders. They're there for other offenses. So you're not going to have women there that are as violent as the male. And it doesn't even matter what the crime was that the male committed. They can be put in female spaces. And there's a lot of testimony from females in state prisons throughout California that are saying, I do not feel safe anymore. And they're basically being told, I'm sorry, you just kind of have to put up with it. But it is a fairly new thing. And in California, I think California is so significant when we have these conversations because California is the future of progressive America. Can a man who identifies as a woman go to a female jail? Yes, in certain states, you can. In California, you can. I don't know about county jails, but I do know in state prison, if you identify as a female, and this is what happened with this Hannah Tubbs, this 26-year-old that was in the story I just read you. So Hannah Tubbs is a 26-year-old who, when was 17, assaulted a 10-year-old in the bathroom of a Denny's or something, and bragged about it and joked about it. Well, under Gascon's new policy, since that happened before Hannah's 18th birthday, Hannah can now go to a juvenile facility and not be tried as an adult. And Hannah also started identifying as a female after being in trouble for all of this, because I would assume it's because Hannah knows that Hannah can go to female areas. That is one of those high profile crimes that really got a lot of people on board with recalling George Gascon. Another one of those crimes was Brianna Kupfer. Brianna Kupfer was the 24-year-old girl that was working at a home decor store during the day and was offed at around 2 p.m. by a homeless man. And it was a completely random attack. Um, Come to find, he had 12 prior mugshots. He was last arrested. I can't remember when this happened, but I know he was arrested in the October prior to this, which was just a few months before he he attacked Brianna Kupfer. So this is another individual that you're thinking, why was this individual not in jail? This person should not have been on the streets. The same thing happened with Jacqueline Avant. She was the someone who was really beloved. Her husband was really high up in the music industry. They lived in Beverly Hills, and she actually had a security guard at the time when somebody entered her home, and she was offed by this person. They later caught this individual, and again, this individual just had a slew of prior arrests, a slew of mugshots. And again, people were angry because people wanted to know, why is this individual on the streets? And everyone knows in LA, whether or not they're tying it directly back to Gascon, everyone knows that it's not safe anymore. It's not safe to walk around with any nice, expensive jewelry. It's not safe to, like, a lot of women that I know, they won't carry a purse with them and stuff like that. Hold on, I want to show this comment. Show. You're so informed. Be careful. All this shit literally eat you alive from the inside out. Concerned fan. Thank you so much. That's why I kind of like to talk about silly stuff sometimes, but I've been looking into this for a really long time. I also used to work in psychiatric hospitals for kids. So I'm used to hearing really awful things. I think I have a pretty good way of knowing this information and not letting it eat me alive. I still see the beauty in life and I always have hope for humanity. If I didn't, I wouldn't talk about it. I wouldn't be so passionate about informing others. But I think to make good decisions, and I think to be better, to be smarter voters and things of that nature, I think it's important we understand the bad too. Um, I've heard stories in New York now only doing appointment only and having the lights. Wait, I've heard stories in New York. Oh, wow. In schools, are they allowing people who identify as trans inside locker rooms as well as restrooms? I know that they're having these discussions. Let me see. Oh, stores. Okay. I mean, I can understand that. And what I think what's really terrifying is that a lot of these things that are happening are so random. I think that when you think about, and I don't mean to sound, when you think about crimes that happen between gang members or between people that are like when you hear about those crimes, you think to yourself, okay, you're making violence is never justified, but you're making bad decisions. You're putting yourself in a bad area. You're doing things that are inherently dangerous. But when you hear about a young 24-year-old girl who's at her day job at a furniture store or home decor store, or when you hear about a woman who has a security guard who lives in a nice home in Beverly Hills and somebody just comes in and attacks her, when you hear about, someone who's just walking down the street and is all of a sudden attacked, or at work and all of a sudden attacked out of nowhere, that's where it gets really terrifying. And I think that's what's really opening people's eyes right now. Salutations from Scotland. Thanks for the stream, Sarah. Thank you. I've never been to Scotland. I think that would be really cool. Honestly, I thought I was open minded, but all this progressive crap scares me. I think that happened with a lot of people. And I think that happened with a lot of people that were formerly progressive. I was the same exact way. I was on board with everything until I realized how radical it got. And now all of a sudden it's going in the opposite direction. When I was in high school, we had I went to it was a Southern high school, very athletics. We were known for having really good athletics. We had a good football team, a good wrestling team, a good basketball team. That's what we were known for. So a lot of jocks at my high school, and we had one boy that identified as gay, and he used to get made fun of a lot. And I used to stand up for him because no one else would. I still remember his name, but I won't say it. And fast forward to, I'm in my 20s a few years ago, and not a little more than a few years ago. I'm in my 20s and I'm working for the Family Crisis Center. and we have somebody from the LGBTQ like teen center in the area that we had a partnership with. We're coming, they were going to do a group with our teenagers. So coming from that, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. He's going to come and he's going to say, hey guys, like you should respect everyone, and you might not understand this person or where they're at in their life. You might not understand yourself and where you're at in your life, but it's okay. That's a part of life. We respect each other. That was what I thought the message was going to be. And then he came and brought a vocabulary sheet. And then he came and brought the gingerbread man and all of these just really confusing things. And I thought to myself, whoa. So that just goes to show you a progressive mind looking at this stuff and thinking, and that was a while ago. And even then I thought, whoa, this is a bit much. And I remember looking at all the teenage girls that I was working with at the time, and they were even confused. It was confusing. Hi from Germany. Hello. I was always a classical liberal. Now I have to be a conservative just to protect those classical liberal ideals. I think that's totally true, Scotsman. I think a lot of people feel like that. I feel like that. And a lot of classical liberals have been just kicked out of the, we've been kicked out. And now we're all conservatives because we're defending those classical liberal beliefs. Um, even freedom of speech, being anti like big corp, anti big media. We used to praise media that called truth to power. Now the media that they defend, CNN and MSNBC and all of these publications, they're almost protecting the power. What did you think? No, I did. What did you think, they were going to come in and talk nice to the people? I actually did, because that was my experience in high school of having one person who was openly gay, and seeing that person get made fun of. So I thought, wow, this is progress. They're going to come, and I saw the girls being really respectful, and I thought, wow, we've come a long way, because I worked with the type of kids who will cuss someone out, who will cuss a teacher out, who will get in fights. All of those things. Those are the kids that I worked with. So I thought, wow, this is really positive. Um, Elon Musk, as left of center, says the left has pushed him towards conservative more. Yes, many of us feel the same way. Also, it was announced today that Elon Musk is going to be the interim. I was looking at the comment. Elon Musk is going to be the interim CEO of Twitter. Here in Germany, our poll puppets and MSN push the gender. I'm trying to find, I know, but I wanted something to read from. I'm trying to see if any schools actually have implemented. Yeah, okay, so this is just random. Okay? So an effective date on the CEO Twitter thing. Let's see. Here it is right here. And then I have a news story that just um said they were going to allow transgender in bathrooms and stuff like that. Twitter's interim CEO when deal closes. He reportedly plans to serve as Twitter's interim chief executive after his 44 billion takeover of the social media giant is complete, adding yet another CEO title to his busy schedule. Is expected to fill the top job at Twitter on a temporary few months. But when does he take over? I haven't read anywhere exactly when this starts. I whenever the deal closes, I would imagine that would be fairly soon. Okay, here is a story from where is this? Okay, this is Martinsville, Indiana. Fox 59 in Martinsville, Indiana. Judge orders Martinsville Middle School to allow transgender student use of boys' bathroom. That's interesting. So they're allowing a 13-year-old transgender student the use of the boys' bathroom at John Wooden Middle School. The injunction requiring the middle school to provide equal treatment to the transgender student came in response to a lawsuit filed against the school district by the ACLU. Interesting. We are happy with that. With this order, our client will have the same opportunities as his peers to learn, grow, and succeed at school. His worries should be about getting things like homework, friendships, not whether he can use a restroom. So that's a girl to a boy. I dealt with this when I worked at the same place. We had several teenage girls who wanted to identify as boys. Hannity says, um, yeah, we had one person that I remember wanted to identify as a boy. We were a residential facility, so we were separated boys and girls, and wanted to identify as a boy, which was fine. Wore male clothes, wanted to be called a male name by Randolph, and that was fine with me at the time. I didn't mind. That's cool. And then there were these advocates that kept pushing for more. Well, he wants to go play basketball with the boys. Okay, it's outside. There's staff there that can supervise. And where I started putting my foot down was when they wanted that individual to actually go on the boys' unit, which you have bathrooms, you have their bedrooms. I thought that was inappropriate. I was just so young at the time. I didn't know what all of this stuff was. I didn't say anything. And I, in my mind, thought that that was taking it too far, just being the fact that we were a government facility, we were a short term facility, we were a crisis center. So our kids were already in crisis. Our job was to stabilize them and send them back out to longer term facilities or back home. So I didn't find that appropriate at all. They ended up letting it happen. Thankfully, nothing happened to the individual, but come to find, after that individual left our facility, she started identifying as a female again. So this was something that was kind of just a phase for her, which I think it is for some people. That's why I don't like when people push all of these permanent things on these kids because it could be a phase. And when you're pushing things like, I know I'm getting off into a different subject, but when you're actually pushing like puberty blockers and surgeries and things that will do permanent damage to these individuals, what if it is just a phase and now they've had permanent damage? They should have the unisex private bathrooms. That's what my solution has been all the time. And a lot of kids feel really uncomfortable going to the bathroom. There's girls that feel really uncomfortable going to the girls, like you feel very awkward and uncomfortable in your body when you're a teenager. And I remember my high school, I can only speak to the schools I've been at, had a lot of separate bathrooms. So you had the girls' bathroom and you had the boys' bathroom. And then yeah, Starbucks is like that. I think that's perfectly fine. And then you also had individual bathrooms. You also had the teachers' bathrooms. There are so many other options than going into a different bathroom than your biology. I actually have something really funny with you. This is not about the topic that we've been discussing, but I found it and I couldn't help it. It is Politico report reveals the reason Biden aides prefer the fake White House set to the Oval Office. The White House has largely abandoned using the Oval Office for press events, in part because it can't permanently be equipped with a teleprompter. Biden aides prefer the fake White House set stage built in the old executive office building next door for events, sacrificing some of the power of the historic backdrop in favor of an otherwise sterile room that is outfitted with an easily read teleprompter screen. And one of the reasons they wanted to keep this teleprompter is they said that Biden will many times go off script, so they want him to have that publicly available. So there was an actual report that was written for Politico, and it says the report published Thursday outlines some of the issues that might arise if the 2024 presidential election became a rematch between President Biden and former President Donald Trump. And in one such issue was the concern that Biden might not be able to handle the stress of another campaign. One concern was the president's physical condition, as report noted, a bone he broke in his foot while playing with his dog in late November 2020 still occasionally bothers Biden, resulting in a slower and shorter gait. But the complications that come with Biden's propensity to go off script when he doesn't have a teleprompter in front of him may also prove to be problematic, especially in a campaign that is likely to include more public events as people return to pre pandemic activities. As the report noted, Biden's aides have already shifted some events, particularly when reporters are present to avoid unscripted moments. It's crazy because we all already know this. This isn't a secret to us, but it's wild to hear this coming from his aides and explains why Hayden Biden wasn't anywhere to be seen during the pandemic. Well, now, if he does run, which he's saying he's going to run, I don't know how he would be physically capable of running for reelection. And I'm not even trying to be funny. Hi, zombie. Biden's Oval Office is one that flushes. I cannot imagine any other US president not using the actual Oval Office to give speeches. I know. Oh, wait, here's Eva. Hold on. Eva, come here. Say hello. Oh, say hello. She, can you look normal? Just try to look normal. Um, chin rubs. But I don't know how he would be physically capable of running in any capacity. But it is interesting. It makes perfect sense. Yeah, they do avoid events. Yes, they do avoid questions from certain reporters, or you see when he tries to answer a question, they quickly whisk him away. Who wants a president like that? She is a predator cat. What was your funny joke? Just chill, just chill. And that was one of the best things about Donald Trump is he did go off script a lot. I think I might be able to get her to go in her let's see if I can get her to go and see that TV. That's a little house. Wait, I have some catnip. Eva, you want some catnip? Hold on. You want some nip? Come on. Are you gonna go in it? Come here. Eva. No, you have to look. Look. Come here. She won't do it for the camera. No, come over here. Come over here. I'll get her to go in. You just wait. Come here. There she is. So look, it worked. He said getting a cat to come on demand is difficult. I said the TV behind you reminds me of Willy Wonka. Maybe Biden can use Wonka vision in the Oval Office. There she goes. It is creepy, and there's something off-putting about seeing a sterile environment and not the Oval Office. There is something pretty powerful about watching the president give an address in the Oval Office. You see her doing she's making biscuits. We are all wrong. It's a litter box. It's not a litter box. Everything about this administration is fake. Microwave litter box. Okay, so Bill Malhusian. Yeah, we already said this. So Bill Malhusian is tweeting about the recall. Okay, do you remember? Hold on, let me get it together. Let me get it together. Eva reminds me of those 3D billboards. Oh yeah, look at her. Look how cute you are. Eva, you're the best little background. Do you see the little antennas in the back? Now this is how I need to live stream. If I could just get her and get her to stay in there the whole live stream. Did you see the hearing with Homeland Security? Sorry, my phone is security second not knowing the lady hired gave she's the meatloaf. Loaf check. Hands visible. Legs visible. Glenn Allen. That is so funny. So it was the congressional hearing with the Secretary of Defense Mayorkas. I'm sure you all know the what they're jokingly calling the Ministry of Truth. It's this new thing that they're rolling out governance board. And the lady that they put in charge of this disinformation governance board loves TikTok, and she has all of these videos of herself on TikTok. She says a lot of things that are sort of against Republicans. She was pro suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story. And this was the woman that was put at the to head this disinformation governance board. And who was it? I'm retweeting because I wanted to give you something earlier. Was asked during the hearing. I'm breaking up. Am I back? So Mayorkas admits. Here, I'll play it for you right now. So this is Mayorkas, and keep in mind the woman that he put in charge of this disinformation governance board has made it perfectly clear that she is political partisan online. She was pro the censorship of the Hunter Biden story, and this is the person that's supposed to head disinformation. Here's an exchange during his hearing.
When the department picked her, was the department aware of her TikTok videos?
Senator,
They're really quite precocious.
Senator, I was not aware of those videos.
When the department picked her,
The fact I was not.
who at the department picked her?
Senator, we don't discuss our internal hiring processes, but I am the Secretary of Homeland Security, and ultimately I am responsible.
When the department picked her, did it know that she had said that Mr. Hunter Biden's laptop is Russian disinformation?
Senator, let me repeat myself and add one other fact. I was not aware of that. We do not discuss the internal hiring process. Ultimately, as the Secretary, I'm responsible for the decisions of the Department of Homeland Security.
When the department picked Ms. Jankowicz, did it know that she had vouched for the veracity of the Steele dossier?
Senator, let me repeat myself and add an additional fact. One, we do not discuss internal hiring processes. Two, I was not aware of that fact. Three, as the Secretary of Homeland Security, I am responsible for the decisions of the department. And four, it is my understanding that Ms. Jankowicz is a subject matter expert in the field in which she will be working on behalf of the department.
Yeah, I can tell.
I love those questions. For the Secretary of Homeland Security, he doesn't seem to know a lot. He doesn't know about, if you get a job at a clothing store, if you get a job anywhere in LA, they will look at all of your social media. But you can be the head of the disinformation governance board, and they don't even know that you have a TikTok with clearly partisan opinions, and being pro disinformation yourself. Wild. He all remember like last week he also was not aware of the status of the 42 known 42 people that were on the terrorist watch list, that were on the no fly list, came into our country. He didn't know the status of them. He didn't know if they were being held. He didn't know if they were released. He didn't know if they were deported. You would think that is something that you would know off the top of your head if you are the Secretary of Homeland Security, but he didn't know. He doesn't know a lot of things. In fact, I don't know what he does know. Um, Yeah, he doesn't seem to know a whole lot, which is quite concerning when you have that job title. I bet her salary is crazy. I bet it is too. Okay, this is interesting. So I'm just switching gears for just a minute, probably over 200K. I'm switching gears for just a minute because this just came out. So we were talking yesterday about Dave Chappelle being, and this also happened in LA. We were talking yesterday about Dave Chappelle being pummeled on stage. And the person that attempted, I don't know if I can show, okay, hold on. So the person that attempted to pummel Dave Chappelle had a knife on him that was hidden in like a fake gun. I still don't know how that's possible. And we kind of went into this discussion of I wonder if what happened with Will Smith inspired people to do these types of things. Well, come to find, this is his Twitter page on 3/27/22. He retweeted a picture of Will Smith. I'll show it to you. He retweeted a picture of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, saying, "Come from my trans homies again, and I will get you, swear to God." And he said, "Dave Chappelle, you're next." I'm not even joking. Look, I don't know if you can see it. If you can't see this very well, I'm sorry. But this is the person who was arrested for attacking Dave Chappelle. He was identified. This is his Twitter. Dave Chappelle, you're next. So that's premeditated. He also had a deadly weapon, right? We were just talking about George Gascon. Now I'm going to tell you what just came out right now. Breaking. Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon will not bring felony charges against man who tackled Dave Chappelle while brandishing a knife. Whoa. Okay, this is what it looked like. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to shit. Just kidding. This is what it looked like. That was his weapon. You see it? I mean, that's pretty aggressive looking. All right. The crazed man who tackled Dave Chappelle at his Hollywood Bowl performance Tuesday night will not face any serious charges, the Los Angeles District Attorney Office says. Instead, the 23-year-old Isaiah Lee will face a possible misdemeanor charge. Police said after Lee tackled Chappelle, he pulled out a replica gun that also had a real knife blade attached. The Los Angeles Times reported Lee did not brandish the knife, but rather it was found in his bag. The LAPD had charged the attacker with assault with a deadly weapon, a felony. Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon, who is notoriously soft on crime, Chappelle was not injured. But here's my thing. What if Chappelle didn't have that many people around him? What if it was something like what happened at the Oscars where nobody really intervened? What would have happened to him? Obviously, I think Chappelle probably could have taken the guy, but the guy had a weapon. I totally agree. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm Southern now. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Um, this is not going to be good for the recall. George, this is not going to be good for George Gascon. That's what I meant to say. Because Dave Chappelle is a very beloved person, especially in Los Angeles. And people are not going to be okay with this person not being charged. And the fact that he was able to get in, he ran on stage, he had that on him. You don't know what he was going to. Why do you have something like that? And it was premeditated. It was premeditated because of that post. Isn't that the Disney character from Beauty and the Beast? Beauty and the Beast, tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Since George Gascon took office, LA City has seen a 34% in homicides, 15% in violent crimes, 6.7% in property increase in property crimes, 67% increase in shooting crimes, armed and follow home robberies, smash grab, burglaries, and thousands of cases rejected. So 67%, that includes shooting crimes, armed and follow home robberies, smash and grab robberies, and thousands of cases rejected. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Beauty and the Beast was one of my favorite Disney movies. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. Even Chappelle will be able to help get the needed signatures. Oh, for sure. If Gascon was smart, it blows my mind how these people are not smart. If he was smart, he would have prosecuted this a lot or they would be seeking a felony charge because this is what gave the recall effort so much momentum. I was really paying attention to the first recall effort, but I'm a rarity. I'm just someone that pays attention to elections. And when he got elected, I was like, oh, this is not going to be good. I paid very close attention to the first recall effort, which failed. And I think it's because we didn't have, I think what happened was all of these high profile things that happened. And the first one was really Lady Gaga's dogs. That happened a long time ago. I don't know if you guys remember that. Her dog walker was in West Hollywood at like 10 p.m., but it was a residential area that should be fairly safe. Was walking two of her dogs and he was ambushed. He was shot twice and they ran off with the dogs. So that I think to me was one of the first more high profile things that happened. And it was kind of quiet as far as higher profile things involving like celebrities or things like that. And then Brianna Cutford, um, Jacqueline Avant. There was a nurse who was 70 years old who was just pushed at a train station by a homeless man, and the way she hit her head, she didn't survive her injuries. There's been a ton of smash and grab robberies. No, she's not asleep. Eva. She. But that's what garnered a lot more attention were the high profile things, and now people are starting to see their quality of life decline, and this is not going to help. I don't know why she turns her back to you. I need to leave. She's going to get annoyed with me. No, I don't think he wanted to run up on Chris and Will. I just think I don't know what the rest of that tweet was. Let me see if I can find the rest of that tweet. It's a screenshot of a tweet. So I can't see below. I can't see below because there was another response down there. What this was actually a threat. So this picture was a threat to Dave Chappelle. I've never seen a TV cat house. Have you seen the antennas? These are the little antennas. So basically, he was saying, like, that's going to be you and me or something like that to Dave Chappelle. And he says, Dave Chappelle, you're next. All right, you all. I'm going to get off here for today. I'll see you tomorrow. They beat the crap out of that guy. Yeah, they did. I was scared to show. You can find it online, but they basically turned that guy into a pretzel. I was worried to show it. It is kind of gruesome, but you can find it anywhere online. But the guy that rushed, his arm was coming out of his head. Yeah, he was very pretzel-like. So that didn't work out too well for him. But it's really concerning that someone who is, I because to me, having those tweets, that's like premeditated, and having a weapon like that. Okay, he didn't use it, but how do you know he wasn't going to? All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining. That was a lot of fun. And I'll see you. I'll be back tomorrow at 2. So I hope to see you there. I might be back on tomorrow night too, or maybe I'll come back tonight. I don't know. Have a great day. Thanks for the smiles today and a little better. Thank you guys. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.